health. I'm back. I had to delete earlier. My daughter was sick, but mommy's taking care of her. So I can go ahead and get back to this list. Hang out with you guys. I got some free time. I'm finally free. I'm over here cooking. Got some ham hocks cooking with some pork hocks, making some string beans. Today I want to continue my topic, 6 ways to master emotions. This was a video I was working on earlier. Let's break it down. 6 ways to master your emotions. This is so important. Sometimes we let our feelings and our emotions get the best of us. And I'm gonna teach you guys some techniques that I use in my therapy and my practice on how to manage those emotions, okay? Emotions can be really tricky. Feelings can be a really tricky thing. Sometimes we act on emotions and then we end up regretting what the action was, because when you base your decisions and your actions off of feelings, you tend to regret, especially if it's negative feelings, because our emotions are colored with past experiences. If we didn't have a past, our emotions would look a lot different. And our past is created by our present moment, by our current moment. So when you make choices, or when someone has projected onto you, hurt you in any kind of way, and maybe it wasn't your choice, right? I can relate to that. Maybe you were just in a situation that you didn't ask for. And that's why as parents, we have to be so diligent in protecting our children, because everything you do in the present moment is going to funnel over into a past experience, okay? It's really important. The past is basically the present. It's just the present that's been logged in and recycled. And when you have experiences that are impacting you in the present moment, and it gets funneled into your past as a memory. A memory is the way that our brain makes the present past. And when we have an emotion or an emotional reaction, that emotion or that feeling is, in a way, a software of that past programming. So it's so important to regulate your emotions, because it's a way that you relegate and regulate past experiences. Emotional regulation is past regulation, past memories regulation. Sometimes the memories of the past can really impact you. And really, again, the past is just the present. Sometimes things happen to people that are really, really terrible. That experience gets logged into this memory, into that past software, and the way the brain reminds you of these experiences from your past is through your feeling and your thinking. Your emotions and your thinking are just ways the brain tries to remind you, like, hey, this thing happened. This thing happened. Be careful, it might happen again. Emotions and thoughts are just ways the brain try to keep you safe and try to keep you from going through that hurtful thing again. You know, you rarely have strong emotions and thinking around positives. You know, rarely does the brain say, hey, this good thing happened, this good thing happened again. It's rare. It's usually based off of fear. So emotions and thinking are ways the brain tries to remind you of a past experience. So when you regulate your emotions, you're doing stuff. I don't even know who this is. So the problem is you react before thinking. Up to 90% of emotional reactions happen automatically based on past conditioning. This is from Harvard Health. So what do? You practice. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Somebody called me and completely threw off my live. Let me put my do not disturb on. Man, every time you try to do something, guys, somebody call you, throw your program off. That's life. You guys, when you meeting with me, you getting life in its raw form. I'm not gonna edit or anything. You know, life, I think life chose me as the golden child. Like, Randy, I'm gonna throw everything at you to see how you're gonna react and how you're gonna respond. I'm gonna respond with grace because God is good to me. You know, so it don't matter what life throw at me. It's gonna be all good. So your feelings and your emotions, your thoughts are just data reminding you that this past experience happened. And the 90% of what we think and what we feel is negative. It's negative. The brain is not excited to bring you all the good. It's excited to bring you all the negative. So before you speak off in an emotion, before you act off in an emotion, pause. Pause, okay? Breathe deeply. They say slow breathing or slow breath, 6 per minute, calms your nervous system. Labeling what you feel, naming your emotions reduces the amygdala activity by 40%. The amygdala is just your stress response. It's Roman for like almond shaped, or Latin for almond shaped. So if you want to reduce the activity of that stress response and that intensity of that stress, you have to label it. Man, I'm frustrated when I get random phone calls during my live. Man, I feel a little bit disappointed when I'm trying to do a live and people are calling me. You know, labeling it kind of reduces its intensity. So when you have a strong emotion, put a label to it, put a name to it. If you can name it, you can tame it, okay? Visualize your wise mind stepping in between the trigger and the response. When something is triggering you, which a lot of times is external, but it can be internal, imagine like a wall there before you respond. You know, imagine you have a shield around your peace of mind. Triggers happen, let that trigger hit that shield first before you react to it. Okay, give yourself some time to kind of process. Journal daily to track what situations spark emotional impulsivity. Emotions are really impulsive. Emotions want you to do everything now, now, now. You know, we having a feeling, we have any sort of frustration or irritability, it wants us to act right now. They call emotions in psychology action urges. They're always urging you to take some action. That's why people, when they have a strong emotion and they act on it, it's about the short. A lot of times feelings don't take in the data of the long-term impact. It only thinks about the immediacy of what's going on. So a lot of times when people feel unhappy or dissatisfied and they fuse and they hook onto that emotion, they're going. You know, that's what happens when you get impulsive behavior, reactive behavior. It's because usually it's the underlying, you know, marriage to that emotion. You know, second problem, you're stuck in these emotional loops. Rumination or overthinking increases the risk of depression by 20 times. Just overthinking on negativity increases your risk for depression by 20 times. That's from the American Psychological Association. Geez. 90% of your thoughts are negative, 80 to 90% of your thoughts are repetitive. That's why you got to get out of your mind and you got to get into your reality. What you think, what your narration or your story is about what's going on, that's between you and your history, okay? It doesn't have anything to do with me. It doesn't have anything to do with your neighbor. That's between you and your relationship to your family, your caregivers, your friends, people that we have in our story. So when you're fused with that and you're believing that, okay, these people are who are in my life and they act like this, they act like that, that applies to everybody. That's false. Everybody's unique. Everybody's different. You have to take some time to get out your mind and explore and adventure. So set a 15-minute time limit for overthinking. Then move into action. Give yourself a 15-minute limit for overthinking. Set limits around how much you're going to overthink. Challenge repetitive thoughts with the question, is this helpful or is this harmful? Okay? Use movement. Exercise decreases emotional rumination by 30%. So you decrease overthinking by just moving. You reduce overthinking and ruminating by over 25%, 30% just by getting up, going for a walk, doing some type of yoga, doing some type of breathing exercises. So you can reduce overthinking and racing thoughts by just doing movement by 30%. Say out loud what you're obsessing about to create mental distance. Practice mindfulness to observe your thoughts. It is so important for people to observe their thinking. This is why journaling, according to the research, is so effective, because you get to see what stories are spinning. And it gives your frontal lobe, the critical thinking, the analysis part of your brain. It doesn't activate, the critical thinking isn't activated when you keep the thoughts and the feelings inside of you. When you keep that stuff inside of you and you don't write it out, you convince the brain that it's true. You have to put that stuff on paper and you have to write it out. It gives you a chance to have a subject-object relationship. Man, am I not good enough? Man, is this gonna be a terrible day? You gotta be able to see it in order to tame it. God bless you too, man. I appreciate you. Smokey Camps, God bless you too, man. And bless your family and, anything you come in contact with. I appreciate that. I'll accept that blessing. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining, man. So, mindfulness is just another way of saying anchoring yourself in the present. If our past is just an echo of our present moment, what is a way that I can create a new past by creating a more positive and more healthy present? That's all. If you want to change your past, because some people say you're powerless to your past. You're powerless. No, you're not. Your power is in the present, because everything you're going through now is going to become the past. So if you want to have power over your past, if you're beat up by your past experiences, maybe somebody mistreated you, maybe you made poor choices, maybe things happened to you that you didn't ask for and it's attacking you. If you want to have power over that stuff, it starts in the here and now. It starts in the present moment. Beat up your moment with your values, with your goals, with your objectives, personal development. That's how you create a new past. Don't listen to all these people with this doom and gloom thinking, no, you're powerless to your past. You can't do anything. You can do something here and now in the present moment. This is where you can conquer your past, in the present, okay? 3, the problem is you suppress your feelings. Stats. Emotional suppression is linked to higher blood pressure and anxiety, according to a Stanford study. All right? So allow yourself to feel without judgment. Emotions last 90 seconds. You see that? How much damage does an emotion can cause, and they're only 90 seconds? You make a wrong action off of a 90-second emotion, it can cost you 20 years. Come on, man. Talk to me, man. Talk to me. You got men who get angry, who get frustrated, they get disappointed, they go into a state of rage, they're pissed off at society, life is hard, I had to quit my job, I had to leave my 9 to 5, I hate this, I hate that, and then you act off of that 90-second emotion, can cost your life, man. Come on, man. I done made so many decisions acting off of temporary feelings, temporary infatuations, temporary attraction, things that I thought were reality and they weren't, and they cost me, man. Don't let 90 seconds turn to a lifetime of regret. An emotion, according to this research right here, they say is all of 90 seconds. That's the primary emotion. Secondary emotion is when you react to that primary and then it snowballs into all these other feelings. But if you allow yourself to have the primary emotion, 90 seconds, man. Come on, man. When you're pissed off, set you a timer on your phone. Everybody got a cell phone. Count to 90 seconds. Let that emotion ride out. Share feelings with someone you trust weekly to release that internal pressure. Write a letter that expresses everything. That's, again, diffusing from that thought. And then decide whether to send it. Reframe vulnerability as a strength because it builds emotional intelligence. Set emotional check-ins 3 times per day. Come on, man. Checking in with yourself. How am I feeling? That's how you build, that's how you prevent the buildup of accumulated stress. A lot of times people, they get to work, they're already burnt the hell out because they haven't checked in with themselves. Every feeling points to a need. What am I needing? Okay? When you're ignoring your feelings and you're suppressing your feelings, we think we're men, emotions, emotion, but that's so important because it's about what you need. Man, you got needs too, and when you suppress it and you don't check in 3 times a day, set a timer on your phone 3 times a day. How am I feeling? What am I needing? Because that's the underlying root of that emotion. Maybe I need some love. Maybe I need some connection. Maybe I need some water, right? Or a walk or a breather or some time alone, Men don't meet their needs because they don't meet the emotion or the feeling, and then they wonder why they burnt out in their relationships, man. Come on, man. Talk to me, man. Talk to me. And what they do is they bury the emotion, they bury their needs, and everything become about everybody else's needs. Come on, man. That's people pleasing. People pleasing is when their needs become the priority and your needs become the minority, okay? Problem, your emotions control your decisions. Emotion-driven decisions are 3 times more likely to lead to regret. This is from the Journal of Behavioral Decision Making. So when you're making decisions based off of that 90-second window, a negative emotion, especially when you make decisions off of that, 3 times more than likely you're going to lead to regret. It's going to lead to regret. Come on, man. Most regret comes from a decision that was born out of an unhealthy emotion. Come on, man. If you were to have a mother, if regret had a mother, the first, middle, and last name would be decision off of, you know, if regret had a mother, okay, she would probably have 4 names. Decision off of unhealthy emotions. All right, that's what a regret is. A regret is nothing but making a decision off of an unhealthy feeling. When you make decisions off of healthy logic, rational thinking, long-term values, you don't have regret, man. Come on, man. A regret is when you make an emotion off of that 90-second feeling and it's negative. Off of a negative 90 seconds. Any decision made out of a negative 90 seconds, you're going to have regret, man. Come on, talk to me, man. Use the 10-10-10 method, okay? How will this feel 10 minutes from now? A lot of times emotions are about the moment. People get so caught up in their feelings, they're so emotional, and they got this thing about the sensitive soul and all of that. You know, you can be sensitive. There's nothing wrong with being connected and in tune with other people's well-being, all right? But you don't want to be too sensitive where you allow your emotions to overrule your logic, your rational thinking, you know? Hey, what's up, brother? Good to see you. It's a wealthy life, my man. Man, I appreciate your work, man. You're doing some really, y'all go check out It's a Wealthy Life. That man, he's a worker. Puts out really good video, really good content, really raw and authentic. I love it, man. I'll be checking out your videos. I'm trying to be like you. He pumped them out. I need to get there, man. I'm just talking about 6 ways to master your emotions. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any comments or any feedback or anything, feel free to share. Use the 10-10-10 method. How would this feel in 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 months? Really take an emotion and stretch that baby out, you know, because there, again, primary emotions only last 90 seconds. And that 90 seconds is enough for people to turn into regret. All you need is 90 seconds for regret. Come on, man. Research says a feeling only lasts all of 90 seconds unless you think about it, then it becomes longer because you turned it into a secondary emotion. So 10-10-10, how will this situation feel in 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 months, okay? Delay major decisions by 24 hours when your emotions are running high. You notice this theme of delaying. Emotions, if they had a name, it would be right now. Come on, man. Emotions ain't trying to delay nothing. When that feeling comes, it's like you gotta act. You gotta pause that. Ask yourself, what will my future self thank me for? Ground yourself physically. Cold water or walking can reset decision fatigue. Keep a decision journal to track when emotions helped or hurt you. You know? 5, problem. You let others dictate your emotional state. Emotional contagion, according to the research, affects mood regulation in over 70% of people, according to Psychology Today. Just being so, you know, the boundaries between you and other people's emotions, those emotional boundaries are so thin, up to 70% of people get affected by others' mood. You don't think the news knows this? You don't think all these different media outlets and all the stuff that they're putting in the TV and our kids putting in our men, you think they don't know this? That you're going to pick up off that. A lot of these marketing advertisers and things, they drive a lot of that strategy off an emotion. Come on, man. We need the people to feel this way. We need them to feel like that. They're not going to attack your logic because that's when you can debate, okay? They're going to attack you inside your emotions. When my man say it's a wealthy life, salute to you. Self-control is the key. I like that idea to think of 10 minutes or 10 hours. Absolutely. It's called the 10-10-10 rule, because emotions, the primary only lasts 90 seconds according to research. So if you can stretch that 90 seconds out to how am I feeling 10 minutes about this, 10 days about this, 10 months, 10-10-10 rule. I'm glad you like that. It's a wealthy life. So this idea of I'm not gonna lie, I'm not no saint, guys. I'm a therapist, but I don't have all the answers. When I'm driving on the freeway and people are cutting me off and people are mad and pissed off, I pick up on that energy too. And it's not just California, all right? It's a driving a pandemic, and I get mad and I'm driving and I'm speeding, right? So I've done let my boundary, my emotional boundary between me and them get broken into. Come on, man. And you know what usually happens? I end up speeding because I'm mad as hell. I get the ticket. Come on, man. And I might have gotten in the car in a good mood, but I done let other people's emotions push me out the way of my value system, what's important to me, driving safe, doing the right thing. If you want a surefire way to get removed from your values and get removed from what's important to you, make a decision off your feelings, man. A negative feeling. Come on, man. Come on, man. You want to keep your value system in the forefront of your mind. Either your decisions are being driven by your values or your emotions. Emotions are a product and a caricature of other people's values. When you make decisions off your feelings and your thinking, you're people pleasing. Because guess what? We're not the only, creator or orchestrator of our thinking. Up to age 7, your caregiver contributed to your thinking. Your school contributed to your thinking. Your race, your culture, the media. So we're not our thoughts. Our thoughts and our feelings are shaped and molded by the world. Come on, man. So either you're making an emotional, thought-driven decision that's a form of people-pleasing metaphorically, or you're making decisions run off your value system. Ask yourself, is this negative thought, this negative emotion going to produce an action that's value-driven? Okay? That's why I'm trying to hammer values into the men. Focus on your core value system. Set boundaries around draining people, okay, to protect your peace. Remind yourself, their emotions are not your responsibility. Visualize a mental shield before difficult conversations. I got to keep that in mind when I'm doing YouTube. Sometimes, if I'm not getting the feedback or the response that I like, I get discouraged. People are like, hey, I don't like his videos, or hey, he's a therapist like the rest of them. Shit, what make Randy so different? He talking about all this mental health stuff. I want to be the anxiety guy that you guys go to. I do anxiety very well. I know I got it, the subconscious, I got anxiety, I got depression, I got all that stuff. I'm gonna narrow my videos down to anxiety. One of the masters on how to treat anxiety, trust me, I'm just really good at it. So I think I'm gonna do a lot more of my videos on just all the different types of anxiety. So when you guys are anxious, you go to my videos, man. I even created an anxiety thread because I know this anxiety is really big now. So visualize a mental shield around you before difficult conversations. You're walking into a conversation with your wife, with your coworker, with your friends, and you know it's going to be challenging. Imagine a shield, and that shield, let it be the ingredients of your value system. With a wealthy life, it's a wealthy life. Salute to him. Y'all go check out It's a Wealthy Life. Subscribe to him. He's really good man, good people, good videos too. He says, I have to keep my emotions in check when I shoot videos to keep on point. It is easy to let the emotions take control. Come on, man. Who are you talking? You're making a video, you're putting in all this work in these videos, you're trying to connect all these ideas together, you're putting your love and your passion, you're giving people your time, and then you go and edit it, you gotta do all these different things, you put a video out, and then they don't even want to look at it, man. Come on, man. And then they get mad when they go out into the world, people are not attending to them, people are not attending to their needs, people are not paying attention to them, they're hurting, they go outside, nobody's even looking at them, and then you go and put these videos out to see them, and they don't even get no credit, man. But you know what? It's all good because there's a higher power that sees you content creators, that see you guys out here giving your heart and your spirit and your soul for this. And it took me to kind of do this work to really understand what you guys are sacrificing. Now I understand you guys just giving love. Ain't nobody gonna take time out of their day. Most human beings are only thinking about themselves. So for a content creator to step outside of that and to dedicate something to the public, that's love right there, okay? Says my emotions. Okay, I must have misunderstood you. My fault. my emotions while I am recording. I don't mind what happens after. I know that's right. Yeah, that's just me. I didn't mean to put that on you. It's a wealthy life. Yeah, that's just me. Maybe sometimes when I'm recording, I'm thinking like, man, I hope people get this. I hope this sticks. It's a wealthy life. He's mentally strong. He's like, I don't get caught up in that. He's like, my emotions while I'm recording. Got you. Thank you for correcting me. So practice gratitude to recalibrate your focus inward. Okay? Gratitude is always good. Choose your emotional influencers. That's a new one. Emotional influencers. Follow those who model calm. I'm not no Buddhist, but sometimes I'll read a Buddhism book, or I'll study a little bit of Buddhism just to study and get an idea of just someone else who has calm. Even Jesus, his calmness, his strength, his moments of just peace and contentment. Influencers are not every day, looking at It's a Wealthy Life, right? He's calm, he's collected, he's recording, he's giving really good content. A lot of people that I look at that model that calm. Problem, you avoid your feelings by numbing out. Research, 1 in 4 adults use distraction or substances to avoid emotions. 1 in 4 adults use distractions or substances. It's crazy, like, the power of an emotion, man. You could probably do a series on this. Just a lot of substance use in the drug and alcohol work I've done as a counselor for 10 plus years is driven by people not able to manage their feelings. And again, what are feelings? Echoes of your past experience. Emotions are about yesterday. Okay? If it was, we don't really know what the present moment is because it's still unfolding. So all we can default to is yesterday. Thoughts and feelings are about yesterday. And a lot of times, the negativity bias teaches us it's about the negatives of yesterday. And that stuff hunts people through our thinking, through our feeling. And to avoid it, we're using drugs. We're smoking weed. I've been clean off of weed and alcohol for about 7 months. I was smoking weed and drinking as a damn therapist. I'm going to try to teach people to get off of weed, and here I am after work, stressed out, hitting the damn joint. Come on, man. Hypocrite. I was a hypocrite. I got clean, sober, went to AA, just revitalized everything, and it just changed my world. Getting clean, getting off of weed, getting off of alcohol. I'm more confident, I'm more clear, my decision making is more sharp. I was smoking weed thinking, oh, this will help my anxiety. I got PTSD from the Marine Corps and the military, so I understand smoking weed in that moment kind of helps give you a calm and kind of relaxes you out, but it really makes you more anxious, because what happened when you run out of weed? Come on, man. And don't tell me about weed. I was vaping. I had like 3-4 different vapes. I was hitting all the most expensive joints. Come on, man. They probably know me by name, and I ain't been there in almost half a year. Come on, man. If you can get off of the weed, get off of that weed. Get off of the alcohol, man. Say, I think I drink less than 6 beers a year. Too old for more than 2. Wealthy life. I know, right? Man, I was drinking every day, man. I had the Ciroc. And I wasn't even thinking about it. I mixed it with some pineapple juice, orange juice. I was thinking, okay, this is cool, right? I'm not no alcoholic. Every night, man. Every night. You, as a therapist, you're listening to so much hurt, so much pain, people losing family members, people being told they're gonna die. I had clients I was working with, next couple of days they're dead. I'm all jacked up, I'm smoking it, and here I am killing myself, thinking that the weed and the alcohol was helping me get away from these feelings, get away from these thoughts, but it was really hurting me, hurting my marriage, hurting my family. I got clean, man, changed everything, man. Salute to AA, man. I used to be doing therapy groups for forever. I would have AA representatives and stuff in there, and I didn't really stick with me. I was like, what is this about? I went, thank God for AA, man. Thank God. If you guys are in AA, or if you are a part of that AA community, God bless you guys, man. That was like one of the best experiences I ever had in my life, man. I look at AA like Church 2.0, and it's not all about Christianity and things like that, but just if you already have a spiritual base, AA is amazing, man. So choose your emotional influencers. So problem, this is the last one. You avoid emotions by numbing out. That's what I was on. Yeah, so they use it, 1 in 4 adults use distraction or substances to avoid emotion. So that's from the CDC. So what you can do, swap numbing out with grounding, okay? Use the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. Getting out of your mind and into your reality, guys. 5-4-3-2-1 technique is just a technique used to get people to kind of activate their 5 senses. You can kind of organize it any way you want. 5 things in the environment that you see, where I see these flowers, I got this Red Bull I shouldn't be drinking, you know, I see the baby bottle, you know, I see these different things. 4 things, you know, I hear these ham hocks, I hear the food boiling, you know, I see, you know, all these different things. You know, get yourself out of your mind. That's a good technique when you're up in your, I look at being in your mind as like living in a pseudo reality. When life gets too hard or is boring, we create this sort of like video game reality in our minds that's more comfortable. You know, I'd rather be interacting with how I think reality should be. It's almost like putting on a pair of 3D glasses. Sometimes you got to get out of that, because 90% of what we're thinking is negative. So you're thinking you're inside this little pseudo imagination reality, but in reality, it's a lot of fear there. It's a lot of darkness there, because the fact that you're even checking out of reality and putting these glasses on says a lot, man. Come on, man. Track your triggers. What are you avoiding and why? In the anxiety research, sometimes you have to use this technique called gradual exposure, where you expose yourself to the trigger. What's a trigger? It's something that's internal or external that elicits the fight or flight system and the amygdala. It elicits stress, okay? And there's a pathway in the brain that gets activated when you're experiencing a trigger. It's a pathway, it's like almost like a line, and it kind of brings to mind whatever experiences or memories that you had connected to that trigger. In the psychology research, gradual exposure towards the trigger activates that pathway in the brain. And then when you expose yourself gradually to that trigger, depending on what it is, and I'm not saying throw yourself out there and hurt yourself, but exposure to the trigger gradually activates the pathway that keeps that trigger alive, and you can put in a little bit of a corrective emotional experience. So for example, if you're triggered by performing on stage or performing at a, you know, some sort of orchestra, you can go and expose yourself to that stage when there's nobody there, right? Or you can watch an orchestra performing on YouTube, and you pair it with some of your favorite music on the side. You pair it with the relaxation technique. I talked about this in the unconscious mind. The brain is always looking for linkages. So the trigger is just a linkage to a stressful experience, okay? So you have to link and relink your brain to a more positive experience, okay? It's all about linkages and associations, things like that. Replace emotional avoidance with curiosity. What is this feeling trying to teach me? Okay? What is this emotion trying to teach me? One thing it's trying to teach you is your needs. What am I needing? If you have a negative emotion come up, ask yourself what need is coming up. Okay? What value is coming up? Generally, a lot of times, things that trigger you, on the other side of that trigger, there's a value, something that's important to you. We rarely get triggered by things that's not important to us. Usually something that's threatening, something that's of value to us, okay? So one thing that's good about triggers is it's a good spotlight to your value system, okay? So if you guys never wrote down your core values, you don't know what your values are, figure out what your triggers are, and then write it down, and then see what thing is important to me that usually I feel is getting violated, right? That's where your core values are, okay? So use your triggers as a way to get to your core value system. Create a comfort menu of healthy coping tools, whether it's music, going for walks, a cold shower. Commit to 10 minutes a day to stillness to build a tolerance of discomfort. Sometimes you got to schedule a tolerance of discomfort in your day, just 10 minutes. You know what, that's what I'm going to teach my daughter, you know, just 10 minutes of not using the iPad, not watching cartoons, 10 minutes of not being on your phone. You know, my daughter, my oldest, is coming today. We're going to Hawaii on Monday. Really getting my kids used to being uncomfortable. Not trying to punish them or anything like that, but you got to get used to discomfort. And it's not, a lot of times kids not getting this teaching. They think everything is comfort. Come on, man. Everything is comfort, right? They want their tablet all day. They want to play the game all day. If we didn't take the tablet from our daughter, she'll sit on that tablet until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. Everything is too built around comfort and pleasure. Sometimes you got to get in, and then when the discomfort creeps in, they break down. You know, 10 minutes a day. I would even say start with 5 minutes. 10 minutes is a little bit excessive. 2 to 3 minutes of discomfort, and then once you get really good, etch it up. You know, 2 minutes of discomfort a day. Cutting off the cell phones, cutting off connection with people who you're always talking to, cutting off, you know, some of this stuff that just makes you feel so comfortable, you know. Get yourself used to being a little bit of discomfort. So that way when these negative feelings come, it's not like, oh my God, I'm done for the day. I don't want to do nothing. You know, get yourself used to being uncomfortable a little bit sometime. So yeah, that was all. I just wanted to go over with you guys. I did the video over. I had to delete it because I was trying to re-edit and kind of look at some things, and I messed up, and I had the phone dropping, falling off the shelf, all kind of stuff. I'm over here making some ham hocks and some pork hogs with some green beans. I got some little butter in there and some potatoes, just cooking. Yeah, so master your emotions. Your emotions are just echoes of your past. Don't let your past ruin your life. Don't let it ruin your present. Okay, a lot of stuff that I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, I try to cook for the cook good for the kids. I'm just putting some water in there so that way I can yeah, I used to let my emotions run me a lot, man. I used to be in my feelings, and again, when your feelings are consuming you, just tell yourself, this is my past coming up. What part of my past and part of my history am I still holding on to? Make peace with your past, guys. You know, we have to learn how to make. If you don't make peace with your past, it's going to come back to you in the form of a thought and a feeling. I guarantee you. When you make peace with your past, like there's things I've accepted, you know, from my past that it was hard, but I made peace with it, so I don't think about it as much. You know, it doesn't come up as an emotion as much. But when you don't make peace with your past, get ready to see your two friends of the past, thoughts and emotions. Okay? If the past had two best friends, you want to know what their name would be? Thoughts and feelings. I'm telling you. Thoughts and feelings. So yeah, just preparing for this Hawaii trip. Tomorrow's my birthday, so I'm just blessed to see another year, blessed to be alive and have my health. You know, I can't talk about how bad life is. Look how we living. Life really that bad for me? It was hard as hell coming from Detroit, but life doesn't always have to stay hard. You know, it doesn't always have to stay hard. You know, everything is hard in the beginning. Okay? But it doesn't have to stay hard. It's not even really good to say life is hard because it's not. You know, you can kind of say right now life is hard. Put that right now in the front, because it's the same people that are saying life is hard, it's going to be better. You know, when things turn around and get better for you, then it's like life is good. So sometimes it's good just to be careful what you tell yourself. You can say, hey, right now, man, life is hard. You know, in this moment, life is hard. You lived in Swarthy life. I lived on 8 Mile for a few years. Nice. Yeah, I'm familiar with 8 Mile, 9 Mile. Yeah, I miss Detroit. I haven't been there in probably about a year. I got to go there and see my grandma. All my family is back home in Detroit, so I got to go back there at some point. I'm just waiting for my daughter, my youngest, to get strong enough to get on that airplane, you know, back home in Detroit. My grandma and my auntie, they're like, hey, when you coming back home? Like, as soon as she get able to, I can manage her on the airplane, you know. But yeah, we're gonna go back out there. I love Detroit. How was it on 8 Mile? Yeah, when Eminem came out with that movie 8 Mile, I was living in Virginia at the time. But you know, I'm originally from Detroit, but I did live in Virginia for a while. I was so proud, man. I was so proud of Eminem. I was so proud to just see someone, you know, it showed us that Eminem was on point, man. He shot some of that movie of 8 Mile near my grandma's house, where we used to live, near Grand River. I love how Detroit, Eminem and all the other brothers who from Detroit put us on the map. It's a lot of people. It's not just Eminem. You got T Grizzly, you got Big Sean, but just on the topic of 8 Mile, I love how he just come in the summer, leave the snow. I know, right? You ain't never lie. Those winters in Detroit get crucial, especially back in the 90s, man. It'd be so much snow. My grandma and my great grandma, my grandma would shovel snow, but if it was like an inch of snow, my great grandma, hey, you know, there's some snow out there, and I'm just like, okay, grandma, let me go out here. And man, that's one thing I don't miss. That's what I love about California, is like not having to get out there and shovel that snow, man. Like I was out there shoveling snow. Man, I can remember one year it snowed so much, it was just like, wasn't even Christmas time. Everything just like blinding you. Just snow all the way up to like your knees, man. And sometimes those snow blowers don't really work as well like you think. Yeah, that snow, man, get crucial. But I like the snow too, because it it kind of make you appreciate when it gets gets warmer. I've been in California about 16, 17 years. Is you kind of lose that appreciation of it being warm because it's always warm. But when you in Detroit and you got those heavy winters and that snow melt and you can go back outside, oh, you appreciate the spring and the summer. It's like out here, it's like always hot. So I don't even know sometimes when the spring transition over to the summer. Shit, it's like spring and summer every day. But in Detroit, and I really appreciate places that have the four seasons, man. It just hits you differently. You know, you just appreciate when you can go outside, you can go out and do your thing. You know, I kind of take it for granted out here, man. I'm not gonna lie, I probably do. It's warm every day, it's nice every day. Then we going to Hawaii, so it's like, you know, kind of spoiled. But yeah, man, I miss Detroit though. I miss my conies, and you know, I miss my friends, and you know, it's different. Like when you're in California, when you don't have a lot of friends and family out here, you know, everybody got their family out here and friends, and I just be looking at them like, damn, you know, I miss Detroit, man, where I miss my family and friends. I have people out here, but it's different when you live out of state, and you know, they don't really go back with you. You know, it's like it's good having that history with people, man. Yeah, so just out here, it's a beautiful day today. Nice weather. Yeah, life doesn't stay hard, man. It doesn't stay hard. Master those emotions around that. Life can get better, man. Coming from Detroit, man, I ain't have nothing, man. You know, my grandma took care of me. My mom, she was trying to figure out her way. My dad, he was doing his thing. So it was just me, grandma, my great grandma, and my aunt, man. I had to be the man of the house at a young age. And I can remember thinking like, man, how am I gonna get out of here? You know, a lot of my friends was getting murdered. You know, it was a lot of violence, man, you know, during my era. And, you know, so I'm from Dexter. A lot of people know, they know where I'm talking about. Those who know. And coming from Dexter, man, in Detroit, you know, it was rough, man. It really was. Like, lost a lot of friends, you know. Remember one year my boy got killed right across the street from my grandma's house, and I was just thinking like, damn, like, you know, I don't know, man. Like, I just think about that, and you know, his son, you know, same age as my son, and I can remember him, and I just look at his son, and I just think like, man, you know, when is your next life? Probably, um, I'll probably take a break on the lives. I'll probably do it when we go to the airport for Hawaii. My wife will be with me. My oldest daughter will be with me. All my girls will be with me, so I'll probably introduce you guys to my family on Monday. That's probably when I'll do my next live. Um, yeah, so all you guys who are out in Detroit, or if you live in like an inner city that's really rough, man, and keep your head up, man. And even if you're not in the inner city, that's rough. You could be in the suburbs. I lived in the suburbs in Michigan, and it could be rough out there too, you know. But if you just keep your head up, man, like just say right now, life is hard. This moment, life is hard. I was thinking like you guys back in middle school, elementary school, that, you know, life is going to be hard forever, but it's not. It's not. The life that you want is inside of you. It's not going to come from anywhere else. You know, it's going to come from you. You got to believe in yourself. You know, life can be challenging sometimes. Right now, life is difficult for a lot of people. You know, but you got to have faith that it'll get better, you know. I appreciate you. It's a Wealthy Life coming into the live. Uh, but yeah, living in Detroit, man, life is really hard. Life is still hard right now. Every time I go back, I can't even dress, you know, the way I want to dress or wear what I want to wear, because I don't want them to think, you know, I'm being insensitive to the conditions out there, you know. So I gotta, you know, a lot of that expensive stuff, the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton, I gotta put that stuff down when I go back to my hood, you know, because you can get killed, you know, going out there. Life is so hard, you know, right now for them, you know. Just going out there, making it seem like life is good, you know. It's crazy how it is right now, you know. So that's one thing I appreciate about California too, is that I can walk around. If I want to wear my nice clothes, I can wear my nice clothes. I don't gotta worry about, you know, depends on where you at though. In California, don't sleep on California, but
You know, I could dress the way I want to dress and really enjoy life. You know, in some cities, the narrative is life is hard forever. So even if, you know, you try to go out there and show them life is good, you might lose your life, you know. I remember I got robbed at gunpoint right after my deployment to Iraq. I came back home to see my family and see my kids and my son. And I got on the, it was Christmas time. I got on the Rockaware jacket, you know, the fly jacket and, you know, all the stuff I got for Christmas. And I remember I was walking my boy to Coney Island. I was going to get him some food. Money was tight. I was helping him out. Came back from going to Coney Island, helping my boy out. We get robbed at gunpoint. Wasn't even paying attention. Right around the corner from my grandma's house. They had the gun up to my gut, you know, to my stomach. I'm telling you guys, it was the winter time, but it felt like it was summer then. Like, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. It gave me PTSD for years. I was having nightmares of being robbed. I'm looking behind my back like, were you gonna rob me? You know, I was just really paranoid, you know, and it was like some winter time when they robbed me and they put the gun up to me. I thought I was gonna die, you know. I thought I was gonna die. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everything, it felt like time just froze. Like, it was so warm. I remember it was warm. It was a winter night though, but they put that gun up to me, guys, it felt like a summer night. It just seems like everything got warm. And, you know, that's when I knew, like, yeah, life is hard. It can be hard right now, but not forever. Enjoy your Hawaii trip. Don't sweat the YouTube. It will be here when you get back. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And YouTube is kind of addicting when you're first starting as a new YouTube channel. I like doing videos. I do a lot of videos and reels on Instagram anyway, and I'm doing videos, you know, a lot. So I was like, why not do YouTube? And you get kind of, you know, addicted to YouTube. Like, you're constantly checking your analytics. I need to stop doing that. Like, always looking at my analytics and are the numbers going up and who's watching. Do vlogs in Hawaii. Yeah, I was thinking about that. It's a vlog basically like where you're just kind of showing like your day-to-day experience, something like that, like going out to the community. I'm kind of unfamiliar with vlogs, but yeah, I think that's what that means. Like, you just kind of go out and show people around this community. I was thinking about doing that because we're going to be in Hilo for about 2 months, chilling on the porch and speak about your day. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could take you guys with me around Hilo, and I don't know if I can show y'all the military base because I don't want to break any sort of like safety or anything in the country. But I wish I could show you guys the base. Maybe I can go on base and show you some of the planes and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go fly to Oahu. We're gonna kind of move around. We're gonna have all the kids with us, so I'll show you guys Hilo and the volcanoes, and, you know, for people who've never been there, just the Hilo culture and community. I'll have some research for you guys on the Hilo culture. Hopefully, it's accurate. If you're Hawaiians, all you guys out there, correct me if it's not accurate. I'm gonna try to do the most current research that I can on your culture. I really appreciate Hawaiian culture. I was stationed in Hawaii with the Infantry Marines back in 2000 and I want to say 2009, 10. When I first got to Hawaii, it was just like heaven on earth. I know you wouldn't even think a place like that existed. I got so much love in Oahu and Hawaii. Like, I just, Hawaii just has like a special place in my heart. They're just so kind and so loving. So vlogs are just day in the life. No need for special format. Just share. That's all. I removed 3 bushes last Saturday vlog. It was 1 hour long. Care none. I know that's right. It's a wealthy life. I like how you think, man. You just like I know, right? No scripts, no reading off of stuff. I feel you. Just kind of doing your thing, huh? Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that. Doing some vlogs in Hawaii for you guys. Yeah, we're gonna be doing like a house swapping. Her friends are coming out here, and we're gonna use their property. Um, yeah, I'll do some vlogs. I'll show you around their house and their community, and they have this little nice observatory that's like up and above the clouds. I'll take you guys up there where you can see literally the clouds. I'll take you guys up there and let you see that. Um, yeah, man, we'll do some vlogs. So yeah, I was I was I was hearing I've heard about vlogs, but I never really looked into it. Thank you for that idea, It's a Wealthy Life. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll look into that, doing some vlogs. So mastering those emotions, guys. Master those emotions and master your past. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. I'm just over here cooking. I got a little break from the kids, so Gosh, I get a little breather, you know. I usually do e-biking. I was thinking about doing some e-biking and taking you guys up in the mountains out here where I'm at. It's really beautiful up here. I think you guys would love it. I just have to figure out how I'm gonna do it. Let me show you guys my e-bike. Yeah, so I got my e-bike right there. It's the Wired Freedom. Yeah, man, really nice. Goes about 25. Nice job on the live, not easy. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I think it's because I talk so much as a therapist, man. You know, therapists, we talk so much, we run our mouth so much. I don't know if you guys seen the Wired Freedom. This, I'll take this boy out. It's so good. Hold on, let me. Life can be better, guys. I was living with my grandma. I ain't have nothing now. I'm happily married. You know, we got a nice house. You know, just blessed, man. This is the Wired Freedom right here. You know, you turn it on. It's a good bike. You guys do any bike riding? Yeah, do an e-bike vlog. Yeah. Go. Ooh, I gotta charge this. And the little battery right there. Yeah. Yeah, you said an e-bike vlog. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to do that. E-bike vlog. Okay, that's a good idea. I got the little the phone holder where I can put it on my chest and I can have it like pointing outward. Yeah, I do a little boxing. You know, I haven't done any in a while. You know. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Yeah, I haven't done any boxing in a while. I need to be cutting this grass, guys. That's what I need to do. I need to cut the grass. I need to charge my grass, but you know, tell you when you're a man, man, you gotta do everything, man. You the damn grass cutter, you the chef, the babysitter. Like, yeah, you guys. A lot of guys saying they don't like women. You gotta shit. Maybe it ain't meant for you to be in a relationship, cause I love women. You know, grandma, she saved my life. You know, I don't know my grandma. She a woman. You know, I don't always agree with everything women do, but my grandma saved my life, man. Saved my life. She used to have me come in when the street lights was on. Shit. I used to be mad back then, but now I understand. You know, sit this right here. Cut this grass for the wife so that way she don't have to worry about it. Sometimes you gotta do things for your wife without her having to just to ask you to do it. Hey, what's up? Good to see you, man. You got these beautiful flowers here. They blooming really nicely. You know, she comes out here and waters them. She even set up a little porch area for us where we can, you know, if I want to watch the game outside, she set it up for me outside with the baby. Got her stuff. Take this trash out, guys. Yeah, I go to the gym. Yeah, man, you gotta go to the gym. When I got clean off of that weed and alcohol, I went to the gym, man. Hopefully you guys can see me, man. Is it clear? Yeah, I go to the gym. Yes, sir. You know,